Hello and welcome to this edition of URP Practical Talk. I'm your host, George Gonzalez. And today we have, as always, Dr. Bandu. How are you today?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm fine.
Great. And so, well, let's just go right into it. Of course, we, in the last edition, we'd seen the URP vision, and I saw that the URP vision relies heavily on agriculture. So why the focus on agriculture?
Well, our whole country has built on agriculture. As you know, once in a time back, we have been known as the breadbasket of the Caribbean. Today we are a disgrace to the Caribbean because nobody pay attention to the agricultural industry in Guyana. The British leave us here with the sugar industry and the rice industry, and we stuck there. We are not moving forward. And instead of us going up, we are going down every day. We are not moving up. We are just moving down and down all the time. The last government, we was in that situation. This government, we're still in that situation. The URP are saying clearly that agriculture is the only way for us to go in Guyana. Right? We should focus more on agriculture than focus on the oil industries. Right? Because let us take Trinidad for an example. Trinidad, when the oil started in Trinidad, everybody left farming and they gone to oil. Today, nobody wants to go back to farming. Today, Trinidad had to import food. Import food. And the same thing, we are heading down that same line. Now, we're closing down our sugar industry. We are saying sugar is not paying. All over the world, in the big country, sugar is paying, but Guyana, we cannot get sugar to pay. Because of what? Because of bad management. Right? You can't be because you're in politics and you have a relative in politics or a friend in politics, you put them in charge of something what they doesn't know anything about. And that's what has been happening in Guyana. We're putting the square pegs in wrong hole for the past 50-odd years in Guyana, both sides of the fence, So what do you are here saying? Look, all right, let us assume sugar is not paying. Let us take a small portion of the sugar, create sugar, for our local use, for Guyanese use, and keep the cane growing and turn to ethanol. Because you have the workers and you have everything right there already, right? If you don't want to go to ethanol, because that will give them a daily bread, going to ethanol. If you don't even want to go in ethanol, you want to plant a different crops, agricultural crop like aloe vera, like industrial hemp, like, soya and all these things. You got so many other things that we can plant. What the URP are saying, but all these different programs that we are suggesting in agriculture, one of these industries, what we are suggesting, will bypass the whole GDP for Guyana. One of them will bypass the GDP. So what we are saying clearly here, that look, you have spent billions of dollars to create an infrastructure in the sugar belt, sugar industry, making canal, making drain, making, all these creation for boat to travel, drainage and irrigation, all these things. Billions of dollars you have spent. Now, why would you take part of this land and make it into scheme for residents? And this has started from the PPP days. Taking part of the land, full up all the canal and the drain and so on, make house lots and people. Now we are 83,000 square miles in Guyana. If we are 83,000 square mile, how would we develop the other parts of Guyana? Why don't we go and take this land, undeveloped land, and create scheme, create other the industries and farming in those areas so that we can open Guyana wider and leave these estates alone to do other kind of agriculture if you don't want to go into the ethanol or the sugar. So that people can able to still have a daily bread. They can able to still have 3 meals a day. Today, look, I traveling this country, hardly have anyone out in some area having 3 meals a day. They either eat 1 or 2 meals a day. I have been traveling this country. I'm telling you what is happening, you know, and it's not going on well. It's not working out. So it is time now for us, our people, to rethink, recheck ourselves. You know, what is going on? What is happening? So it's the URP has a vision. As we saw it before, you know, we played in the last time, the vision of the URP, where we looked at everything. And that vision that we put a 10-minute introduction there, it wouldn't happen overnight. It will take all our people to come together and work together to make it happen. Otherwise, it would not happen. We have seen in Guyana our, what we call the professional politicians. We have seen what they have been doing to our people. But some of our people can't see it up to now. They cannot see what's happening and what the professional politician doing. It is the professional politician that has Guyana in this situation today. Because what they go in there for, most of them go in there is to fill their pockets. Not for the people. Nobody cares about the poor people in Guyana. The only people cares about the poor people in Guyana. That's why we are here at the URP. You know, because we realize the poor people is the real people in this country. It's not those who are getting rich off of the poor people. They are millionaires. And they themselves, although they are getting rich off of the poor class of people, they don't even do anything to help the poor people. All what they lean to, the person who governs this country. Because they're looking for favors. We are not in the business of doing favors. We are in the business of running business-like. Right? We can't look at friends and family. We have to look what the laws tell us and go by the law in our country. But that has not been happening. Because if we had been going by the law in Guyana, many of them who are in government would be behind bar already. As you know, United States, when you hold a position and they caught you commit any kind of bribery and things like that, sometime before the man meet the court, he kill himself because he will be so embarrassed. He shoot himself or he commits some form of suicide. Right? And this is what we need for Guyana. URP has a lot of plan of agriculture in Guyana for different type of agriculture for us to, because we realize agriculture is our backbone in Guyana. Agriculture we have to focus on. Most of our people in Guyana knows about agriculture. If we take them away from agriculture, we will be in a very bad shape. We'll be sorry. Very, very sorry. And in my meeting, I'm telling people this. You know, we have to be very cautious. Look our rice industry. we have been selling rice in bulk. We don't need to sell rice in bulk. We don't need to sell our paddy in bulk. We need to package our rice where we'll have value added on it. We have more value. People get more money for their rice. We have one factory in Berbice who had been doing that and very progressive. They've been doing good, and they had able to pay their rice farmer better price for their paddy in Berbice. That the only county had been paying their farmer better price for their paddy because they had been milling the rice and package the rice and sell it overseas. So they get a little more money so they can able to pay the farmer a little more money. And this is what the URP would like to encourage all millers in Guyana to start to think of doing packaging of rice. We don't have to sell bulk rice. We don't have to sell bulk paddy. If we package it, then we will get better prices for our produce. And one thing again, what the URP are looking into in farming, as we are on the subject, that we have to examine our cost of producing things. We have to give some kind of leeway to farmers, like duty-free concession in certain things, like especially on fuel, should be duty-free to farmers. Because what we have to do is to bring down the cost of production so that we are able to compete with the foreign markets.
So is it of your opinion that subsidies and really the encouragement of agro-processing is what will help make the agriculture in Guyana truly profitable?
Oh, definitely, definitely. In the British days and so, when I was a young man, we had free agricultural, you don't have to pay no tax, and so duty-free on fuel, duty-free in machinery, duty-free in parts, and all these things. We have to re-examine ourselves and see what we can give duty-free on in the agriculture industry to try to bring down the cost of production. Because if we bring down the cost of production, then surely we'll be able to compete with the outside market. And that's one of our big problem here. Because of cost production in Guyana, in agriculture and different things that what we do in Guyana, we have found out that the same thing that we produce here, we can bring it from US or Canada. Businesses import it from those countries and bring it here and sell it here cheaper than what we sell right here. Right? Look, for instance, Mabaruma. Last year was in Mabaruma. And the people are talking to me about ginger, to try to get a market for ginger for them, because they grow a lot of ginger there. So I tell them, I said, you know what? Give me a 10 pound of your ginger, I'll see, what I can do. They sent the distilling, they had some of the boat, where the boat is. And they send a guy to bring 10 pounds. They bring it in a plastic bag. When I open the bag, I want to drop dead. It's full of broken ginger, full of mud, And I said, this is how you guys will able to sell ginger, and you want to get a good price for it. It's not presentable at all. So our people, we have to teach them. The agriculture industry has to go and teach its people. Number one, we have to learn to do mass production in Guyana. Number two, when they plant things like ginger, we got to teach them how to reap it, not to get it broken up like that. We got to teach them how to wash it, how to package it, and for it to be presentable to foreign markets. But we haven't been doing anything. The agricultural industry had not been doing anything of such to encourage any farmers in Guyana. All what people plant in Guyana is blindly. They plant what they feel is growing good with them, they plant that. But the URP is saying, here, look at this. We will set up an international marketing system so that we can guide our people what to plant. We can tell you, okay, plant papa, or plant pepper, or plant some other things, what we have market for. So that when you plant this thing, it would not rot on you. It would not spoil. You'll have market right away for it, and with fairly good price. You will know prices even before you plant it. You will have an idea what price you will have. So you will work towards that. If you think it can't pay you, well, then you wouldn't grow it. If it's making sense and it has a profit, then you grow it. So these are the way that the URP are thinking. You know, and we would like to try to copy some of the things of US too. You know, like when they plant wheat in US, before the farmer plant the wheat, some company will go and strike a deal with them to buy the wheat before they plant the wheat. We would like to introduce those kind of thing in Guyana to farmers, where we can go and buy out. You got 50 acres, you're planting 50 acres of Belange, we purchase it at a price before you plant it. And we come to an agreement, we make a contract, we give you a little deposit, and you go on from there. So these are the kind of things in agriculture the URP are looking at, you know, to pre-buy crops of whatever you produce. You know, it will not happen right away, but it will take time. These are the vision of the URP. You know, get insurance the crop in case the crop go bad, just like US and other country. The farmer wouldn't lose out completely. They got money to replant what goes bad, you know. So these are things that we have to understand and work towards. It's new ideas for our country, and I'm sure that it will work. It will work, and it will work well, and farmer will be very happy. They'll be laughing, you know, when these kind of things come into force.
And so it sounds like under a URP government, the Ministry of Agriculture and possibly even the Ministry of Business is going to have a more direct role in trying to push farmers into really crops that can make them money.
Definitely, definitely. Because let me tell you something. Food is something that always needed. People use food to get their energy, to work, and to do this. So it's always needed all over the world. And they predict sometime down the road, a few years from now, they will have a shortage of food. And if we start to gear ourselves up, then definitely we will be able to have a beautiful Guyana. Our people will be smiling, you know, in the agricultural field. People will be able to live a better life. They'll be able to see what they are working for. They will be able to take their family on holidays overseas. And you wouldn't be working from a day-to-day system. Right now, we are working from a day-to-day system. Those who are working are only working for food, nothing else. They can't have a saving. They can't have taking their family overseas or a holiday because they're working on a day-to-day system. As I said earlier, many people do not even have 3 meals a day. So how you'll survive? So URP wants to bring new things to people. 50 odd years ago we got independence. It's just like let us take. I just crossed with the bridge just now. I take 1.5 hours to cross that bridge, and still they open the bridge with 2 lanes, and the vehicle them piled up so much they close back one of the lane on the bridge. Now, 40 odd years ago, President Bonham built that bridge when he was in power, right? You mean his people who took over government now want to go and build a bridge, same flat bridge, a 3-lane bridge with an opening again. I don't know what's wrong with these people, if they don't think or their head don't work or what. Now, the problem in the bridge, I live over the river and I can tell you, the problem of the bridge is not the lane of the bridge. The problem of the bridge is the opening of the bridge. And sometimes they open twice a day, which that is 3 hours a day. And there where the problem is. So that is why the URP vision are saying that we should make a 4-lane bridge, a 24/7 bridge, so that we can able to have free flow of traffic up and also by the ships.
So something like a large, high-level suspension bridge.
Yes,
then.
it's a suspension. We call it a flyover bridge, so that the ship can go freely under it, and the vehicle can go freely 24/7 also. You don't have to wait on anything. And all these traffic jams that we are having in this country, you will be able to see that it will reduce tremendously. It will reduce tremendously. And beside that, it will avoid pollution. Because many of the trucks and so when they parked up, sometimes they don't have good battery to start back, they keep it running. So it's polluting the atmosphere. This is what we are trying to avoid. But it doesn't seem like this government get it. It doesn't seem they get it. Now you're saying that the flyover bridge will be too expensive. Yes, it will be a little more money, but you don't even have money to build that flat bridge where you're talking about. You have to still borrow money to build that. Why don't you borrow a little more and build a permanent thing where we doesn't have an opening? Why? You're talking about oil money. You get so much of money from oil, and you boasting off, and you all over the world you're saying your GDP can go so many 100 times more. And well, then you will have no problem in paying for a bridge if you are so sure in yourself. What problem you should got? Because your money will be rising in Guyana. Guyana will have a lot of money according to this government. So this is what we are facing in Guyana, and we have to be real. We have to be real to understand things. Otherwise we are going forward. We're going only backward all the time. So this is what briefly I can tell you about the agriculture, but we have a lot of things in store for agriculture, because we are focusing heavily on this agriculture. We are not focusing on anything more than agriculture at the moment.
Yes. And again, so then that agriculture includes not just farming, but also the agro-processing side, and as well as the marketing side. And so essentially you're also pushing for manufacturing. So how do we encourage people to go into that?
Well, the honest way you can encourage people to go to that, especially our people here, is to give them some kind of relief, for encourage them to try to seek market for them. But this government tell you clearly that they are not seeking market for anything. That's not their job. Just like how they tell they on the campaign they said they'll find job for all the youths, right? When they get in power now, they said their job is not to find job for the youth. It's the first time in history in a country I heard that from a government, that their job is not to find job or try to create job for people. In all countries, even United States, they try to create as many jobs as they can create for their people. Encourage businesses to go on doing business. And if the businessman is doing business and doing well, it means he will be employing more and more people. And that is why you encourage businesses to go on. Give them some kind of concession so that they can employ people. You know, they can encourage them to go on and grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's how you create jobs. But it doesn't seem like these guys understand this in job creation. Although we are not in government, we have been doing tremendously out here. And we'll talk about that later, you know, in trying to get industries and come in here and do things and so forth. But it is so sad that these two political parties who took government, all their focus is on is how they can get rich, how they can fill their pockets, and they can be multimillionaire overnight by the sweat of the poor people in Guyana. That's all what they're focused on. And you can see it clearly. You can see it clearly. They're creating different programs, you know, projects like parks and different things, spending millions of dollars. Like they do not have what priority is. They don't know what is priority. You know, like some time ago I talked about show the picture on the park in Essequibo. Now the farmers need road. You build so much of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in park, right? And then the farmer can get the produce out. And the park animals go and live there. Why didn't you take that same hundreds of millions and make the people roads for them to bring out their produce to sell it? You know? So they do not know what to come first and what. Anything that they can put their hand on and they can get money for and they can pocket half of the money, that's what they're doing. That's all. Happening in the last government, happening in this government too. You know? That is why all the different projects are creating. Because more money they borrow, more they get to steal. You know? This is how Guyana runs. So my fellow Guyanese, I'm appealing to you. Please re-examine yourself. If you want a good life in Guyana, when the government tell you that they're giving you a good life, they mean opposite to that. They're giving themselves a good life, not you, the people, a good life. But if you really want a good life, start to change the way of your thinking. Because we are not thinking right in Guyana. Something wrong with our brain. You know, so please examine yourself so that we can able to work together. We can be better people. We can able to see smiles on our people's face anywhere we turn in Guyana. I thank you and may God bless all of us. Thank you.
Oh, and so some great thoughts to leave us with, Dr. Bandu. Thank you. And of course, that's all the time we have for this edition of URP Practical Talk. Again, my name is George Gonzalez, your host for the show. And thank you for watching. And of course, as always, we encourage you to check out the Facebook page, URP Guyana, and also check out the website, www.urpguyana.com. Again, thanks for watching.